Hello there, welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode number 76. We have a new project on the table, and that is a replay of the 1974-75 New York Nets season. I've been talking about this all the way back in episode 1. Took me a little while to finally decide on which sim I was going to use, and I settled on Uptempo Basketball from the Clark and Addison Gaming Company and creator Brian Haverkamp. This is game number 1. It took place on October 18th, 1974, and in real life, the Nets won that game 105-89. We have the Nets and the Utah Stars are visiting. We'll use the orange D20 as our basketball for possession and the D6 to mark time off on the clock. I'm going to use percentile dice in white, and I'm also going to use another D10 in black to count for tenths because the shooting percentages for free throws, 2-pointers, and 3-pointers do go to the tenths. So first thing we'll do is roll for the opening tip. 1 to 50 is Utah, 51 to 100 is the Nets. And Utah has possession. If you want to see a tutorial on this, Dave Gardner has a really good video on that, so shout out to Mr. Gardner. And we have a 33, and a 33 is a free throw attempt, so we're going to see who's going to make that free throw attempt for Utah, and that is a 23, and that is going to be Ron Boone. Ron Boone is an 86.0 on free throws. He makes the first, and he makes the second. So Utah is up 2-0. Now the Nets have possession of the ball, 11:40 left in the first quarter. And we have a 79, and a 79 is a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Willie Sojourner. Now, although he is scoring here early in the first quarter, more than likely he wasn't playing then, but the game is set up that the minutes that the players probably played in the game are abstracted. On top of that, we only have 10 players, and some of these players, I'm sure, did not play in this first game, but it works for now. So anyhow, we're tied at 2, and possession goes back to the Utah Stars, and we roll an 85, and that is a 2-point basket for Utah. That's coming from 66, and that is John Roche. So Roche has 2, and it's now 4-2 in favor of the Stars. Next possession is 45, and that is a 2-point attempt. Now we're going to see the defense. I'm playing the full game using offense and defense. There are 3 different versions you can play. But first we'll see who's taking the shot, and it's a 4, and that's going to be the point guard, Brian Taylor. And he will be defended by 65, John Roche. John Roche is a 2. Brian Taylor is a 50. John Roche is a +2 on defense. Taylor is a 52.9. That makes him a 54.9, and he misses. So the ball goes back to Utah for their next possession, and that's an 88. And that is a 2-point basket. And that's coming from 33, Roger Brown. So Brown hits the 2. And now Utah leads 6-2. Nets have the ball back. 10:20 left in the first quarter. And we have a 67. And that is a 2-point basket coming from Ed Manning. And it's now 6-4 in favor of Utah. We're down to 10 minutes left in the first quarter. And we roll a 1. And that is a run. All right. So we're going to check the run chart here. And it's a 56. And a 56 is a 6-0 run. And we have a 6-0 run for Utah. And we have these run cards. And okay. Sorry about that. Thought I was missing the 6-0 card. but it was stuck to one of the others. Okay, so it's a 6-0 run for Utah. And we're going to roll to see how the points are distributed. And we got a 9. So it's going to be 2 to the shooting forward. And that shooting forward will be Roger Brown. So there's 2 to Roger Brown. It's 2. And shooting forward. 2 to Roger Brown, 2 to the power forward, and that is 82. And that's going to be Jim Eakins. And the last 2 go to the center, and the center will be to Moses Malone. So Moses Malone gets the last 2. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And it is now 12-4 in favor of Utah. And we take 2 minutes off the clock, which takes us, down to 8 minutes. It's 2 minutes off the clock. The Nets ball, and we have a 49. And a 49 is a 2-point attempt. And that attempt is coming from Dr. J, Julius Erving, and he will be defended by 18. Roger Brown. Roger Brown is a 0 on defense. Erving is a 79-9, or excuse me, a 51-5 on 2-pointers. And he misses. So Erving misses, and possession goes back to Utah. Utah taking it to the Nets early on here, 92. And that is a 2-point basket, and that's coming from 79, which is Bruce Seals. A lot of scoring from the Utah bench. And it's now 14-4. Ball back to the Nets with 7:20 left in the first quarter. We have a 93. And a 93 is a 2-point basket, and that basket was scored by 98. That's Willie Sojourner again. So it's now 14-6 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. We have a 65 for Utah, and that is an and one. So first we're going to see who takes the 2-point shot. 52 is Ron Boone. So Ron Boone sinks a 2. And he's going to go to line for another shot. So Ron Boone's free throw shooting is an 86.0. And he makes that shot. So Boone makes that shot, and it's now 17-6 with 6:40 left in the first quarter. And we get a 30. That's a free throw attempt. The free throw attempt is coming from 85. That's Bill Melchioni, and his free throw, 85. No, it's Billy Paltz, center Billy Paltz, and his free throw percentage is 74.8. He makes the first, and he makes the second. So Billy Paltz with 2 free throws. And it's now 17-8. Possession back to Utah. 6:20 left in the first quarter. And roll a 70. And that is a 2-point basket for Utah. And that's a 57. That is coming from Moses Malone. And it's now 19-8. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Nets have the ball. And we roll a 10. And a 10 is a turnover. Things are not going the Nets' way early on here. Down to 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Utah with possession again. And it is a 14. And Utah turns the ball over. So we got down to 5:20. Nets have the ball. We got a 14 again, and that is another turnover. 5 minutes in the quarter. Here's Utah with possession. We have an 89, and that is a 2-point basket for Moses Malone. And it's 21-8. Back to the Nets. 4:40 left in the first quarter. Rolling 89, and that is a 2-point basket for 24. Dr. J, Julius Erving. So Irving finally gets on the board. And it is 21-10 with 4:20 left in the first quarter. Utah has the ball. And we have a 43. And that's a free throw attempt. And that free throw is coming from 64. Moses Malone. He is a 63.5% free throw shooter. He makes the first one. And he makes the second one. So 2 more points for Malone. He has 6. And it is 23-10 in favor of Utah Stars. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Utah's pouring it on. And we got a 5, which is a turnover. Another turnover for the Nets. Ball back to Utah with 3:40. 52. That's a 2-point attempt coming from 55. And that'll be Moses Malone, and he will be guarded by Billy Paltz. Billy Paltz is a -7. Moses Malone is a 57.2. Paltz's -7 takes Malone down to a 50.2, and he makes it. 8 points for Malone here in the first quarter, and it's 25-10 in favor of the Stars. The faithful here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum are silent right now. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Got a 43. And that's a free throw attempt. Coming from 14, it's going to be John Williamson. He is an 83.7 free throw shooter. He makes the first. And he makes the second. So Williamson gets 2 free throws. And it's now 25-12. In favor of Utah with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Utah rolls a 67, and that is a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Ron Boone. It's now 27-12. Ball back to the Nets, and it's a 98, and a 98 is a 3-point attempt. And that is coming from Wendell Ladner, who I know was not on this team for the opening game. I think he was still playing for the Kentucky Colonels. But anyway, Kentucky Colonels. Anyhow, his 3-point rating is a 19.4, and he's being guarded by 36, which is Roger Brown. His defense is a 0. So it's a 19.4 for Ladner. And he misses it. So now we're down to 2:20. Stars have possession again, rolling 84. That's a 2-point basket. And that comes from Jim Eakins. Stars increase their lead. It's 29-12. They're up by 17 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And a 96 for the Nets, and that is a 2-point basket. And that is 96, which is going to be Willie Sojourner. Sojourner is leading all Nets with 6 points here in the first quarter, and it is 29-14 with a minute 40 to go. Stars have the ball. 27. And that's a free throw attempt, and that's coming from 41. Moses Malone, he is a 63.5 shooter. He misses the first one from the line, and he misses the second one. So break for the Nets to maybe cut into this lead a little bit. There's 1:20 left in the first quarter, 48. And that's a 2-point attempt from 98. Willie Sojourner again. He is a 48% shooter, and he's going to be guarded by Moses Malone, who is a -5, so that takes Sojourner down to a 43 even, and he misses. 1 minute left to go in the first quarter. Stars have the ball again. 61. That's a 2-point attempt coming from 17, which is Ron Boone, and he will be guarded by John Williamson, who's a -2. Ron Boone is a 49.5, becomes a 47.5, and he misses. Ball back to the Nets with 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. And we roll a 26, and that is a free throw attempt. That's coming from Larry Keenan, and he is a 77.0 free throw shooter. He misses the first one, and he makes the first one, or excuse me, the second one. So Keenan scores his first points of the game, and it is now 29-15 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. And we have a 19, and that is a turnover. And this is the last play of the first quarter. The Nets have a 42, and that is a free throw attempt. That's coming from 97, Ed Manning, who is an 83.3 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So Manning makes 2 free throws at the end of the quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, the Stars lead 29-17. I'm going to quickly add up the points. So 0 for Smith, 2 for Roche, 2, 4, 5, 7 for Boone, none for Jones. Brown had 4. Seals had none. Govan had none. Eakins had 4. Malone had 8. And Denton had 2. So that's 7, 9, 13, 17, 25. Wait a minute. 9, 13, 17, 25, 27. So somehow I messed up there. Let's see. Boone had 2, 4, 5, 7, 2, 4. Seals had 2. And that gives me 29. All right, so it's 29 for Utah in the first quarter. And let's see. Taylor, none. Melchione, none. Williamson had 2. Skinner, none. Irving, 2. Leidner, none. Keenan had 1 point. Manning had 4. Paltz had 2. And Sojourner had 6. So we got 8, 12, 13, 15, 17. And that's our score at the end of the first quarter. Utah Stars leading the New York Nets in this 74-75 opener, 29-17 at the end of the first quarter. Now, because this is 1974, we have a jump ball at every quarter. There's no possession arrow, so Stars get the jump ball on a 1-50, Nets on a 51-100, and it is to Utah again for the first possession here in the second quarter. And we roll a 6, and a 6 is a turnover. So we are in the second quarter, and we are at 11:40. And it's a 45 for the Nets, and that is a 2-point attempt for 91. A lot of points coming off the bench for New York. That's Wendell Leidner again, and he will be guarded by 97, which is Bruce Seals. He's a -3 on defense. So Leidner, his 27.7 goes to a 24.7, and he misses the shot. Ball back to Utah at 11:20. And we have a 19, and that is another turnover by Utah. Ball back to the Nets, a 68. And that's a 2-point bucket for 90. Al Skinner. So Al Skinner gets his first points here in the second quarter. And it is now 29-19 in favor of the Utah Stars with 10:40 left. Okay, we have a 98. 98 is a 3-point attempt. You don't see too many of these, even though, you know, the ABA did have the 3-pointers. And that's coming from 32. That's coming from Al Smith. He's a 36.2. He's the point guard for the Stars, and he's being defended by Brian Taylor, who's a -6. So Al Smith is 30.2 on this 3-pointer. And he just misses it by 0.3. So that's another turnover or a rebound for the Nets. And we are down to 10:20. Now, mentioning rebounds, the only stats that this game keeps is points. So you won't be able to check for rebounds or assists, but I'm okay with that. All right, here we go. It's 10:20 in the second period. 29-19 in favor of the Stars. We have a 51 for the Nets. That's a 2-point attempt coming from 48. It's coming from Larry Keenan. He is being guarded by Gerald Govan, who is a -1. So Keenan goes to a 49.9, and he makes it. And the Nets have cut the lead a bit and are now down by 8 with 10 minutes to go in the half. Got a 38, and a 38 is a free throw attempt for 83, Jim Eakins. And Eakins is an 83.6 free throw shooter. He makes the first, and he makes the second. So Eakins gets 2 free throws. And the Stars lead 31-21. Nets ball with 9:40 left in the half. We got 60. And that is an and one. So let's see who made the 2-pointer. And that's going to be a 74. And that's Billy Paltz. So Billy Paltz sinks the 2. Makes it 23, and he will take the free throw for a 3-point play. He is a 74.8 free throw shooter, and he makes that. So it's now 31-24. Nets have cut the lead to 7 with 9:20 left in the second quarter. We have a 14 for Utah, and that is another turnover. Turnover bug has bitten the Stars just like it had the Nets in the first quarter. So the Nets have the ball with 9 minutes left in the half, and it's 65. And that is a 2-point bucket for John Williamson. And the Stars lead is cut to 5, 31-26. There's 8:40 left in the half. Roll a 68, and that is a 2-point basket for Ron Boone. And it is now 33-26, 7-point lead. Nets ball with 8:20 left in the half, 35, and that is a free throw attempt, and that free throw attempt is coming from Larry Keenan. He is a 77.0 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he misses the second one. So Keenan picks up one, and it is now 33-27. 6-point lead. With 8 minutes to go. And we roll a 23, and that is a free throw attempt for Utah. And that is an 85. That's Jim Eakins. Getting a lot of points from the bench in this game. All right, Eakins is an 83.6. He misses the first one. and misses the second one. My. 7:40 left in the half. Nets ball. 2, and that's going to be a run. Run for the Nets. And that's a 13, and on a 13, it's an 8-0 run for the Nets. So we go to the 8-0 run card, and we roll again on this, and it is a 7. So it's going to be 2 points for the point guard, and that will be Brian Taylor. So 2 points for Brian Taylor. It's 29. 2 points for the shooting guard, and that will be 91. That'll be Al Skinner. Gives him 31, and 2 free throws, and those are coming from which shooting guard? 31. John Williamson. So John Williamson is 2 free throws, and we're up to 33. All right, and the shooting forward will get 2 more points, and that's Julius Erving. And we're at 35. And the Nets have taken the lead. And we take 2 minutes off the clock, so we go down to 5:40. All right. So that run definitely got the Nets back in the game. And it's Utah's ball. We roll a 22, and that is a free throw attempt coming from, that was a 62. And that's Moses Malone. Malone is a 63.5. He makes the first, and he makes the second. So Moses Malone picks up 2 more points. He has 10. And we are knotted at 35. 5:20 to go in the half, and it's the Nets ball. And we roll a 57, and that is a 2-point attempt for Larry Keenan again. He's a 50.9, and he's being guarded by Jim Eakins, who is a -1. So it becomes a 49.9, and he misses. So 5 minutes to go, and we're tied at 35. Utah ball, they roll a 75, and that is a 2-point basket for Moses Malone. And Utah takes the lead 37-35. 4:40 to go in the half. 99, and that's a 3-point attempt for 85. Wendell Ladner. He took the last free throw, or 3-point attempt for the Nets, and he's going to be guarded by Roger Brown, whose defense is a 0. So Ladner is a 19.4 from the 3-point line, and he misses. Utah's ball with 4:20 in the half. And we roll an 86, and that is a basket. 39. It's Roger Brown. And it's 39-35. Stars have built up a 4-point lead again after the Nets' 8-0 run. We got an 88 for the Nets, and that is a basket from 28. Julius Erving. Erving only has 6 points in this game so far, and it's 39-37 in favor of Utah with 3:40 left in the half. They roll a 1, and they are going to go on a run now. And it's an 86, and that is a 6-0 run for Utah. And so 49, and that is going to be 2 free throws to the shooting guard, and that's 15. And that'll be Al Smith. So 2 free throws to Al Smith. And it's now 41. Guess I should put this here where you can see it. A 3 and a free throw to the shooting forward. So the 3 is going to Ron Boone. Boone hits the 3. Now it's 44 to 37. And we also have a free throw made, and that is also going to be Boone. That makes it 45. And that's it. That's the scoring for that run. We take 2 minutes off the clock, and we are down to 140. And now the Stars lead 45 to 37. It's Nets ball. We roll a 73. And that is a 2-point basket for Bill Melchioni. His first points of the game, I believe, yes. All right, so that makes it 39 for the Nets. And they trail by 6, 45 to 39. Minute 20 to go in the half. Utah's ball. Get a 51. That is a 2-point attempt for 77, who is Wall Jones. And he will be defended by 75, Al Skinner, who is a -4. So Wall Jones is a 41, and the -4 takes him down to a 37.3, and he makes it. So Wall Jones gets his first points of the game, and it's now 47 to 39 in favor of the Stars. Back to the Nets. There's 1 minute to go in the half, and the Nets roll a 70, and that is going to be a 2-point bucket, and that goes to 59, Larry Keenan. So it is now 47-41 with 40 seconds to go in the half. Utah's ball. They roll a 20. That's a free throw attempt, and that is coming from Moses Malone. He's a 63.5 free throw shooter. He misses the first one, and he makes the second one. Malone picks up a free throw, and it's 48 to 41 with 20 seconds left in the half, and we get a 17, and that's a free throw attempt for the Nets, and that's coming from Al Skinner, who is a 76.6. He makes the first one and makes the second one. So Skinner, 2 free throws, and it's now 48-43, and this will be the last possession of the half. They roll 65, and that is a bucket, and that is coming from Ron Boone. So Ron Boone hits the 2, and at halftime it is the Utah Stars 50 and the New York Nets 43. So let me get some quick totals on these points. Smith had 2. Roach had nothing. Boone had 5, 6, 8. Probably leading all scorers. Jones had 2. Brown had 2. Seals had none. Govan had none. Eakins had 2. Malone had 5. And that's it. Denton didn't score, so that's 10, 12, 14, 16, 21. For a score of 50 at half. That's correct. All right, so now we'll check the Nets. Taylor had 2. Melchioni had 2. Williamson had 4. Skinner had 6. Irving had 4. Leidner did not score. Keenan had 5. Manning did not score. Paltz had 3. And Sojourner did not score. So that's 26 points for the Nets. And that gives them 43. All right, so start of the third quarter. And, of course, we have a jump ball at the start of every quarter in these games. Just as before, 1-50, it's Utah. Anything else is the Nets. And once again, Utah wins the jump. It's Moses Malone. All right, so first possession, third quarter. They roll a 91. And that is a 2-point bucket. And that is coming from Jim Eakins, who's having a decent game here in the third quarter. And it's now 52-43. Ball goes to the Nets, and we're at 11:40. It's an 85, and that is a 2-point basket for 63. Larry Keenan. So Larry Keenan is on the board again. And it's 45. And it is 52-45. Utah's ball. 11:20 left in the third quarter. Roll 48. That's a 2-point attempt coming from 9, Al Smith. He will be guarded by 31, Brian Taylor, who was a -6. Al Smith, 2 is a 39.1. That makes him a 33.1. And he makes it. So Al Smith scores here in the third quarter. And it's now 54-45 in favor of Utah. With 11 minutes to go in the quarter. And a 6 for the Nets is a turnover. Ball back to the Stars. And they roll 73. And that is a 2-point bucket. And that is for Jim Eakins. So it's now 56-48, or 45, excuse me, in favor of the Stars. There's 10:20 left in the third. 25. It's a free throw attempt for Julius Erving, who is a 79.9 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So Irving hits 2 free throws, and it is now 56-47. Utah's ball with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. 52. That's a 2-point attempt for 76. It's Walt Jones, who is a 41.3. He's being guarded by John Williamson, who's a -2, so that makes him a 39.3, and he makes it. Walt Jones. And it's 58-47. Utah's built up an 11-point lead again. There's 9:40 left here in the third quarter. It's a 46 for the Nets. And that is a 2-point attempt by Billy Paltz. Billy Paltz is a 48.7, and he's being guarded by Moses Malone, who's a -5. So Paltz becomes a 43.7, and he misses. The ball goes back to Utah at 9:20 in the third quarter, and an 11-point lead, I believe. And they got a 42. That's a free throw attempt for 70. John Roche, and he is a 79.5 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second. So Roche gets 2 free throws, and it's now 60-47. 13-point lead, 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. 47 for the Nets, and that is a 2-point attempt. That attempt is coming from 55. Larry Keenan again, and he's going to be guarded by 47, Gerald Govan, who's a -1. So that makes Keenan a 49.9, and he misses. Down to 8:40 Score is 60-47, 13-point lead for the Stars, and the Stars have the ball. We roll a 64, and that's an and one. So the 2-point bucket is by 89, Jim Eakins. So he hits the 2. That makes it 62. And he's going for the foul shot now. And Eakins is a, excuse me, 83.6 free throw shooter. And he makes it. So it's now 63-47. 16-point lead. 8:20 left in the third quarter. The faithful here at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, or some of them have left. All right, here we go. It's a 40. And a 40 is a free throw attempt, and that's coming from Julius Irving, who is a 79.9 free throw shooter. He misses the first one, and he misses the second one. That's the way things have been going for the Nets. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it's Utah's ball again. It's an 87, and that's a bucket for 59, Moses Malone. His first points of the second half, and it's now 65-47. With 7:40 left in the third. We got a 34. That's a free throw attempt for 68. Larry Keenan, who is a 77.0. He misses the first one, and he makes the second one. Keenan gets a free throw, and it's now 65-48. And we are at the 7:20 mark in the third quarter. 97. And this is a 3-point attempt for Utah, and it's coming from Al Smith, who is a 36.2. He's being defended by Bill Melchioni, who is a -3. So he becomes a 33.2, Al Smith does, on this 3-point attempt, and he misses. So we're down to 7 minutes. Nets have the ball, and we roll a 71. And that is a 2-point bucket for Julius Irving, who's been relatively quiet. Stars still lead by 15, 65-50. The 6:40 mark, we roll a 40. And that is a free throw attempt for 68. That was an 8. And that would be John Roche. He is a 79.5 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he misses the second one. So Roche gets one free throw to go. And now it's 66-50. 16-point lead. 6:20 left in the third quarter. Nets ball's a 58. That's a 2-point attempt for 97. And that's Willie Sojourner. He's going to be guarded by Moses Malone, who's a -5. Sojourner's a 48.0. That makes him a 43. And he makes it. That's 52 for the Nets. And 66 for Utah, who has the ball with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And we have an 86. And that is a 2-point bucket. And scoring that is Gerald Govan. Now it's 68-52. Lead back to 16 with 5:40 in the third quarter. Have a 56. And that is a 2-point attempt for Dr. J. He is being guarded by Roger Brown, whose defense is a 0. Dr. J is a 51.1% shooter, and he makes that. So Irving 2 more points for him. And it's 54-68. 14-point lead. 5:20 in the third quarter. It's an 82. That's a 2-point bucket for John Roche. And it's 70-54. Leads back to 16 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Roll 64. And that is a basket for 43. Julius Erving. Irving's having his best quarter in the third here, and it's 70-56 favor of Utah with 4:40. And that's a 5, and a 5 is going to be a turnover. Ball goes back to the Nets. We are at 4:20. That's a 29. That's a free throw attempt for 87. And that will be Bill Melchioni. He is a 79.5 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second. Nets are trying to cut into the lead. It's now 70-58. Need a few more stops or a run to get back in this. So it's Utah's ball with 4 minutes to go in the third. It's a 62. That's a 2-point attempt for 38. That's Roger Brown. He's a 46.7, and he will be guarded by Julius Erving, who's a -9. So that makes Brown a 37.7, and he makes it. And it's now 72-58, 14-point lead, 3:40 left in the third. We have a 22. That's a free throw attempt for 39. Julius Erving, who is a 79.9 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. Erving has 10 points. Whoops, those are free throws. Erving has 10 points here in the third quarter, and it is now 72-60 with 3:20 left in the third quarter. 80. And that is a 2-point basket for 23. Ron Boone. His first points in the third quarter here. And now it's 74-60. Favor of Utah with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And a 52 is a 2-point attempt for Al Skinner. He's being guarded by Ron Boone, who is a +1. Al Skinner is a 49. That makes him a 50. And he makes it. So it's now 74-62 with 2:40 left in the third. Utah rolls a 42. I guess I ought to keep that out of the way there. It's a free throw attempt. And that's coming from Jim Eakins, who's an 83.6. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. Eakins off the bench is having quite the game. And it's 76-62 with 2:20 left in the third quarter. And we roll a 9, and that is a turnover by the Nets. So we're down to 2 minutes here in the third. Utah's ball, and they roll 100, and that is a 3-point bucket. And that was made by Roger Brown. Roger Brown sinks the 3. And it is now 79-62 in favor of Utah. We got 1:40 left here in the third quarter. And that's a 39. And a 39 is a free throw attempt, and that's coming from 84. That was an 8. 84. And that is Billy Paltz, who is a 74.8 free throw shooter. He misses the first one, and he makes the second. Paltz. His first points in the second half. And it's now 79-63. Favor of Utah. Minute 20 to go. They got the ball. It's a 54. That's a 2-point attempt for Roger Boone, who's a 49.5, and he is going to be defended by John Williams, who is a -2, so that would be 47.5, and Boone makes that. And it is now 81-63 with 1 minute to go in the third quarter. And it's a 96, and that is a 2-point bucket for 69 Billy Paltz. And it is now 81-65. My goodness, with 40 seconds to go. And 29, that was a, or excuse me, yes, that was a 9. 29 is a free throw attempt. And that's coming from Wall Jones, who's an 82.3. He makes the first one, and he misses the second one. So Wall Jones gets 1. And now it's 82-65. 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's a 22. That's a free throw attempt. That's coming from 90, who is Al Skinner. He's a 76.6. He misses the first one, and he makes the second. So Skinner picks up a point, and it's 66 for the Nets, but the Stars have 82, and here's the last possession here in the third quarter. And it's a 41. It's a free throw attempt for 81, who is Jim Eakins. He's an 86.3 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. It's Jim Eakins. And it's now 84-66. The Nets are being embarrassed. And that's the end of the third quarter. So, Nets have some work cut out for them. Okay, jump ball. Oh, yes, I guess I better total points. So Smith had 2. Roche had 5. Boone had 4 in the third quarter. Jones had 3. Brown had 5. Seals didn't score. Govan had 2. Eakins had 11. And Malone had 2. Denton didn't score, so that's 34 points for Utah in the third. Should give them 40, 75, 84. That's what they're at. And for the Nets, Taylor did not score. Melchioni had 2. Williamson did not score. Skinner had 3. Irving had 10. Leidner did not score. 3 for Keenan. Manning did not score. Paltz had 3. And Sojourner had 2. Nets are outscored 34-23 in the third quarter. Is it 40, 50, 56, or 66, and that's what they're at. All right, so start of the fourth quarter. Jump ball, 1-50, it goes to Utah, and just like the other 3 quarters, Utah gets the first possession, and they roll a 62. That's a 2-point attempt for 81. That's Jim Eakins again. And he will be guarded by Larry Keenan, who's a -6. So that makes Eakins a 44.3, and he misses. All right, so 11:40. Nets got the ball, trying to stage a comeback. They roll. Unfortunately, they roll a 5, and that's a turnover. And it's Utah's ball again. 24 is a free throw attempt. We got a 63. And that attempt is coming from Moses Malone. He's a 63.5. He makes the first one. And he makes the second one. So 2 free throws. For Malone. All right. And it's the Nets ball. I might have missed recording points in the proper place, but I'll check that later. All right, so it's the Nets ball, and they trail. Malone hit 2 free throws. 86-66. They're down by 20. And he rolled a 65, and that is a 2-point basket for Billy Paultz. Here in the fourth quarter, whoops, wrong team. Paultz gets 2, and they're at 68. All right. So it's Utah's ball, 10:40 in the game. 75 is a 2-point basket for Ron Boone. All right. So now the score is 88-68, a 20-point lead for the Utah Stars. And we get a 61. That's an and one. So let's see who sunk the basket. And that's going to be Julius Erving with the 2-point basket. Gives them 70, and now he's going to get to make it a and one. And he's a 79-9 shooter from the line, and he makes that. So Erving picks up another point, and it's now 88-71. Favor of the Stars with 10 minutes to go in the game. We have a 19, and a 19 is a turnover. Down to 9:40, it's the Nets ball. We roll a 45. And that is a 2-point attempt for 67. Billy Paultz. He will be guarded by Moses Malone, who's a -5. Paultz is a 48.7. It makes him a 43.7. And he just misses it by a 10th. How about that? All right, so 9:20 left in the game. And the score is still 88-71 in favor of Utah Stars. 28, and that is a free throw attempt for 74. That is Walt Jones. He's an 82.3. He misses the first one, and he misses the second one. Another chance for the Nets to try to chip away at this lead. There's 9 minutes left in the game, and they trail 88-71. And we got a 70. And that is a basket for John Williamson. I think his first points of the game. Oh, no, he has a few here. But Williamson scores that basket, and that's 73 now for the Nets. But Utah has 88. There's 8:40 left in the game. Utah rolls a 64. That's an and one, and that's coming from 83. Jim Eakins. Jim Eakins sinks the bucket, draws the foul, gives them 90 points. Eakins is a 83.6 free throw shooter, and he makes it. And so it's 91-73. Will the Nets break 80? I hope so. All right. 8:20 left in the game. 81 for the Nets. That is a basket, and it's coming from Willie Sojourner. So it's now 91-75. Stars ball, 8 minutes to go in the game. And that's a 48. And that's a 2-point attempt for the Stars, and that's coming from Wall Jones, and he will be guarded by John Williamson, who's a -2. That makes Wall Jones a 39.3, and he misses. Nets ball. 7:40 to go. Roll a 33. That's a free throw attempt for Willie Sojourner. He's a 48 even. Misses the first one. Misses the second one. And it's Utah's ball. Utah. Stars roll a 96. That's a 3-point attempt. That's coming from Al Smith, who is a 36.2. And he's being guarded by Brian Taylor, who is a -5. That makes this a 30.2 shot, and he misses. Down to 7 minutes. Score is still 91-75. Nets have possession. It's 86. And that's going to be a basket for Billy Pultz. So now it's 91-77. Still a 14-point lead for Utah, and 6:40 to go in the game. We got a 64, and that's an and one again. And it's a 64 again. That's going to be Moses Malone. He picks up the bucket. Gives them 93. And he is a 63.5 free throw shooter, and he sinks that. So now it's 94-77. 17-point lead. 6:20 in the game. Nets have the ball. 26. That's a free throw attempt for the Nets, and it's a 91. So that's going to be taken by Al Skinner, who is a 76.6. He misses the first one. They've been awful from the line, and he makes the second one. My. So now it's 94-78. Utah has the ball. 6 minutes to go in the game. And they roll a 2, which is a run. So let's see what kind of run they roll. A 51. It's a 6-0 run again. So we'll take a look at how we distribute the points on this 6-0 run. And we roll a 70. And that is going to be 2 points for the shooting guard. This pretty much seals this game. But 2 points for the shooting guard, who is going to be Wall Jones. So 2 points for Jones. That's 96. 2 points for the shooting forward, and that's going to be Roger Brown. And 2 points for the power forward, and that is 96. Jim Eakins. All right. Eakins picks up 2 more. And it is now 100-78, and we take 2 minutes off the clock. Down to 4 minutes. Nets ball. 44. It's a 2-point attempt. 4. Brian Taylor. Taylor is a 52.9. He's being guarded by John Roche, who is a +2 on defense. So Taylor is going to be a 54.9, and he makes it. And the Nets score 80. So right now it is 100-80. 20-point lead for the Stars with 3:40 left in the game, and they roll a 12, which is a turnover. Nets can maybe make it respectable. They roll an 81. That's going to be a 2-point bucket for Larry Keenan. And so now it's 100-82. Utah's ball with 3 minutes. And you roll a 99, and a 99 is a 3-point bucket. And that is shot by and made by John Roche. It's the second 3 for the Stars. And it's 103-82. Nets ball 240. 57, and that's a 2-point attempt for 43. Julius Erving, he is being guarded by Roger Brown, who's a 0. So Erving is a 51.5, and he makes it. So now it's 103-84. 19-point lead, 2 minutes to go. 84 for Utah is a 2-point basket. That's going to be a 78. And that's Wall Jones. He's having a pretty good second half. Whoops, fourth quarter. So Wall Jones makes it 105-84, 21-point lead. And that's roll 51, and that's a 2-point attempt for Julius Erving. He's being guarded by Roger Brown, who's a 0. Erving is a 51.1, and he misses. Just not in the cards tonight. 2 minutes to go in this game. The Coliseum's just about empty now. All right, Utah's ball, and they roll a 71. That's a 2-point basket coming from Moses Malone. That makes it 107-84. 23-point lead with 1:40 to go. It's a 36, and that is a free throw attempt coming from 68, Larry Keenan. He's a 77 even. He misses the first one, and he misses the second one. My goodness, 1:20 to go. Stars lead 107-84. That's the way it goes sometimes, right? All right, you got a 17. That's going to be a turnover. Of course, there's not enough time for the Nets to get back into this, but they got the ball back and roll a 62, and that is a basket for Julius Erving. Doctor sinks that one. And they score 86 points. And we got 40 seconds to go. Utah leads 107-86. And it's a 29, and that is a free throw attempt. 21 goes to Ron Boone, who's an 86.0. He misses the first one, but makes the second one. That makes it 108. 20 seconds left in the game, or something about there. And it's a 41, which is a free throw attempt. That's coming from Julius Erving, who's a 79.9 free throw shooter. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one barely. So now it's 88-108, 20-point lead, final possession of the game. You think they would just run out the clock, but no. It's a 70. That's another basket, and that comes from 53, Moses Malone. And there you have it. Final score. Utah 110. And the New York Nets, 88. Bit of a surprise. I'll total up the points later. I like the flow of the game. I'm sure it's time. I probably made a mistake or two. I'm not sure. I got a little confused here in the third quarter as to where I was putting points. So I might be off a point or two here or there. But overall, I enjoyed the game. I like the flow of it. I like the fact that you can apply the defender's rating to affect the outcome of the shot. All in all, a nice little game from Clark and Addison Gaming Company. All right, so that's going to do for this episode. I know it was a bit long, a little bit longer than I like them to be, but I did some talking, and next time we play this game, I'm just going to kind of go right through it. All right, so that's it for this episode, and until next time, take care.